Okay, so we start with the prayer. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bhiyata Nishacharachamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Rama Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittalayas Sada Bhautame Bho Rama Mamuddhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane Sri Rama Nama Varanana Ondama Iti. So this class we'll do some reading exercise, and I want to actually share with you this excellent book that is available from Gita Press. It's the Ramayanam book, which you see on the screen. They have these three books are very good to learn Sanskritam. One is of course, the Gita, which is available, but many people have that. Gita is very good with the Padachya, which we have been using. Then this Ramayanam, which is excellent. It has the full English and also Hindi. Hindi also is very good, but for us who know only English, English is also excellent. So Ramayanam has about 24,000 shlokas, and it is level of Vyakaranam in Ramayanam is about the same as Gita Vyakaranam. Okay? So that is what makes it. So it's a practice. Gita is a wonderful start. If you memorize at least some parts of it, it's a wonderful start. And then, but there are only 700 shlokas. If you have one rule, it may apply in Gita only in one place, maybe. But Ramayana will apply in like 600 places. So if you can keep on reading Ramayanam, and even if you don't understand the full meaning, it's okay, don't worry. It takes time to digest all these texts. But if you keep on reading them, it will make, even if you don't understand the meaning, like this first shloka over here, we say Om Tapasvadhyaya Niratam Tapasvi Vagvidam Varam Naradam Paripapracha Valmikir Munipungavam. Even if you don't understand any meaning, doesn't matter. Keep on repeating that. Go to the next one. Slowly, you will get more and more and more, fraction more. And then the rules will come to your mind. You'll have the jidnyasa to learn more rules. You'll desire that. And then it will keep on. The language will, in a way, reveal itself to you as you keep on reading. Not so the Vedas today, by the way. The Vedas, you keep on chanting it, meaning may not come to you. Even after hundreds of chanting, you may not get the meaning because they have become far removed from us today now. This is for most of us. But this is not like that. If you keep on reading Ramayanam or Gita also, or not so, Bhagavatam a little bit later, that's a very difficult text in some places. But this one is 80% of Ramayanam is, at least 50% I would say, is easy to digest. And the beauty about this one is that we'll see today is that you have a very good English translation down there. So you can try to connect the English translation to the shlokas. So you have 24,000 shlokas to practice. Plenty of material there. Almost every single dhatu is being used. Almost every pratyaya is being used. Every sandhi is being used. Every rule is being used here. And as I said, some of them are also being violated also, which is also a good thing because you're now in the real world, so you can get a picture of how things really are, as opposed to showing only grammatical texts. So with that little introduction, and this translation is very faithful. Faithful means they don't skip anything. They don't summarize anything. They may add them. Of course, sometimes they have to add things from the commentaries. So the stuff which you see in brackets, there's some maybe they have added from commentaries. But also this is a story. See, in Gita, you have it's a Vedanta text, a philosophy text, Adhyatma Vidya. But there, the words have some laden meaning inside them. You may not get the meaning of the word unless you know what's the philosophy behind it. Here, this is mostly a story. So also it's very useful for us. We can focus on, our vocabulary, focus on our Vyakaranam, not worry too much about, the extended meaning. So let us start here. One thing that we will need to do today is to learn some basic things about compounds. I think Shankarji might have already told you. We'll do a little bit of basics because without that, it's going to be very hard to decipher some of these words because there are many compounds here. Even the very first word, Tapasvadhyaya Niratam, that's a compound. Now, unless we know how to tackle these, we will not be able to make. We will not cover sutras in detail at all. I just might mention, general section of Ashtadhyayi for those of you who want to go in detail. I'll tell you where the sutras generally come. But otherwise, we will just look at the meaning, give some basic pointers, and move on. So we won't do rules in detail. So with that, let us start. Of course, reading Ramayanam, the important thing is you will get the grace of Sri Rama, also of Valmiki Muni, and also of Gita Press. All three are amazing. So please read this book. We'll put this one on the website. I mean, this couple of pages, but the book is available everywhere. You can get it. And again, it's not error-free. There are some typos here and there, but that's understandable. 24,000 shlokas, it is possible. But those are mainly only typos, not like errors in the sense of translation errors. Okay. So now, first I want to give the general methodology of how you tackle any shloka. What should be the step-by-step, maybe I'll put that on the page. I'm not going to do too much screen switching and this and that. People, I think I'll keep it on the main screen, but let me give you this we'll start with a fresh scene here. The first thing you want to do is padacheda. That is exactly why we are learning the Padanta Sandhi rules. Because unless you can do that, this is something which we don't have in English. In English, we may say, forget it. We say the word forget it. For one who doesn't know English, says, what is this forget it? It says forget it. So that we know in English. They'll put a space in there, and you can do the padacheda. Here padacheda is an important thing. Now, without knowing some vocabulary, you cannot just do padacheda. You can go the reverse way. You can take the padacheda and then do the sandhi karyam. But to do it the other way, viparita karmena, it's a little bit difficult because you need to know some vocabulary for that. So we'll build our vocabulary. So we can see what the meaning is, and we can also get some basic. And sometimes you will not get the padacheda. It's okay. But that is the first step, padacheda. Now, there also one point to be made is that, how about compounds? Now, compound, what happens is that within a pada you have other padas. So technically speaking, even those have to be split out. But as a beginning step, at least you can take samasta padam and do padacheda including that. So, what's your padacheda? The next thing is padanvaya. Padanvaya, which is that you reorder the words into prose order. Let's take this first. Let's say first shloka. Om says tapaswadhyaya niratam. That's the first pada. It's a compound word. In that you have tapaha, swadhyaya. Even within that you should have, su is also, you can remove that. So it has su, adhi, e is there. But let's keep it as tapas, swadhyaya, niratam. Then tapasvi, vagvidam, varam. Within vagvidam also we have the word vak inside there. We'll come to the compound a little bit later. Naradam.
Satish,
yes.
We are not seeing the screen, we are seeing the Word document right now.
I'm sorry, yes. Yeah, please let me know when I'm not switching the screen properly. Okay, back to the text. Start again. So, tapas swadhyaya niratam, tapasvi, vagvidam, varam, naradam, paripapracha. Now, technically speaking, pari is a separate pada. The upasarga, there are separate padas. You say pari, papracha, valmikihi, narapungavam. Also, when you chant, please make the longs longer. Say valmikihi, valmikihi. Generally, the longs become sacrificed in chanting. That ucharana doshaha. Secondly, when you see the mahaprana, make them more mahaprana. Tapasvadhyaya, dhya, vidya, dhya. They say When you hold the hand in front of your mouth, you should see the wind, the breath hitting your hand. Swadhyaya, dhyaya. Because now when you say Bhagavan, people say Bhagwan. It should be Bhagavan. So Swadhyaya. A couple of just chanting tips. To make the longs longer is also good. They give you a chance to rest your tongue a little bit. So Valmikir Munipungavam. If it's a short, you can do a little bit of a hitch at the end. So if you can say, for example, maybe we can find one here. It's a short E or U. It's very hard to tell. Just look at the shloka number, just for pronunciation, look at shloka number 6. Shruyatam miti. Shruyatam miti means say iti. That means a short E. Say shruyatam iti. Then you don't know. Is the iti short or long? It's another technique when the scholars when they dictate to people. That's how they shruyatam miti. That means it is short E. Then if you shruyatam, long E. I'm talking about this just for pronunciation. I'm telling this is the end. So make the longs longer, and if it's a short, you can also one other technique is that the short is coming in the between. You immediately follow with the next word. That means it stays short. For example, when you say apicha, say apicha, apicha. When you say apicha, it is going to be apicha, not apicha. Then now you don't know whether api is long or short. Of course, we all know api is short, but I'm saying if you're just listening, we say apicha. Now apicha means it's going to be short here. So paripa pracha. So paripa. We say paripa is short here. So that's the first step we just did is the padacheda. Again, do it one more time. Tapas swadhyaya niratam. Tapasvi vagvidam varam naradam pari papracha valmiki muni pungavam. The muni pungavam is a compound. So muni and pungava is two elements there. Then the vagvidam is a compound. Vag can be taken out of that. And then tapaha and tapas and swadhyaya, these two also. And also the nirata, also a compound, because ni is upasarga. So ni rata. Now the padanvaya we have to do is you have to reorder the padas to make it into prose sentence. Generally you follow the order of subject, object, verb. Subject, object, verb. Who's the subject here? Valmikihi. So Valmiki asked the sage Narada. So Narada was asked by Valmiki. So Valmiki will come first. And you form, find the Tinganta pada first if you can, which is the verbal form. You say Ekating Vakyam. So that's what it defines as one sentence. See, the meter only tells you that means syllables are done. Doesn't tell you how many, sentences are complete. There may be less than one, maybe more than one. Many times it will probably be less than one many times. But here we have a nice one sentence. It's very nice. We have one sentence. It's also happened many times. A lot of times you'll have exactly one sentence in exactly one shloka, which happens like I would say, probably majority of the time it happens that way. So Valmiki papracha. Valmiki asked. Then the should say they put the object in between. Valmiki Naradam Paripapracha. Okay. Now there are a whole bunch of adjectives. This is the style of these Purana texts, Mahabharata also. There are thousands and thousands of adjectives. I mean not hundreds, but thousands. So now if you just want to get the gist of the story, you don't need all the adjectives. In fact, in Bhagavatam, they have this text called Bhagavata Churnika, where they crush the Bhagavatam, make a Churnika out of it. They take out all the Visheshanam, they don't bother with it, and make a Churnika. So, because it's a complicated text, you can make Ramayan Churnika also if you want. The Churnika means that's what they do. So you get to only the basics, maybe just give one or two adjectives and you move on. So, our basic sentence is done. Basic Padanvaya will be Valmiki Naradam Paripapracha. How many adjectives do we have? Tapasvadhyaya Niratam, Tapasvi, Vag Vidam Varam is a unit now. Let's look at that one for a section. Vag Vidam Varam. Vag Vidam Varam. So he was the best of speakers, of the knowers of speech. So Vag with this Pratipadikam. One more lesson for today. When you see any Shashti Antam Padam, in a genitive case, Shashti normally means Sambandha. You immediately make the Sambandha. So that way you have the unit ready for you. So you don't leave the Shashti floating around, causing trouble here and there. So just fix it to the, if you can find. If you cannot find, at least say, okay, some Sambandha is coming with. So Vag Vidam is a Shashti Antamadam of the knowers of speech. But what of them? Varam. He was the best of the knowers of speech. So Vag Vidam Varam is a unit now. So in the beginning, you can even leave the word Shashti Antam Padam. You say, I don't need Vag Vidam. So all Shashtis can be dropped in the beginning. Just say Varam, he's the best. He's the best of something, but he's the best. That we'll just take it there for time being. The last one is, of course, Muni Pungavam. Now, out of these, which ones are in Dvitiya Vibhakti? Which ones are in Prathama? Because Prathama will go with Valmiki, because he is the Karta. He is the Abhita Karta. I'm sorry, I'm using this term which we have not learned yet, but anyway, he is in Prathama Vibhakti right now, Valmiki. So he has the adjective Tapasvi. Because Tapasvi is a masculine nominative singular form. We have not learnt all the rules, but we just get a feel for them for the time being. That the rule is Tapasvin is a Pratipadikam, like Yogi, Yogin becomes Yogi, Swamin becomes Swami, and so on. So Tapasvi is a masculine nominative singular form. So now we form a bigger sentence. So we can say, Kidrishaha Valmikihi. So Valmiki is, what kind of Valmiki? He was a Tapasvi. So generally you can keep the adjectives before the nouns. It's a good stylistic to keep it stylistically that way. So Tapasvi Valmikihi. Naradam Paripapracha. The same thing on this side. Kidrisham Naradam. What kind of Narada was he? And you can just maintain the order which is given in Shloka itself unless you have reason to reorder them. You can just tag them all there. You can say Tapasvi Valmikihi, then Tapasvadhyaya Niratam, Vagvidam Varam, Munipungavam, Naradam, Paripapracha. Okay. The other thing is that when you have in Dvitiyantam Padam, the main was not, forget the adjectives, talking about the noun, Naradam. Naradam cannot stand on its own. It requires some verb or some participle, or it could be an avyaya, to stand. Because you cannot say just Narayanam. You can say Narayanaha. Narayana, you have to supply Asti, Vidyate, Vartate. You can complete a sentence. Corresponding, you say Swatantra Karta. The Karta is Swatantra. He acts on his own. He doesn't need anything else. He's enough. But not so the object. Object needs a verb to hang on to, or some participle. So the moment you say Naradam, you should ask, Kasya dhatoho karma idam. So but what dhatu's object is this? And in this one is also is very obvious right now. It is the paripapracha. We have only one verb here. We have a simple sentence. The basic sentence is simple. So that should be a rule now. When you see any Dvitiyantam Padam, you connect it generally to a dhatu, maybe an avyaya. And any adjective, you always have to see what is the noun behind it. So Tapasvadhyaya Niratam is an adjective. We see the compounds pretty soon, but you have to see which adjective is standing behind it. The reason being that Tapasvadhyaya Nirata, the Pratipadikam, does not have its own gender number case. It is taking a gender number and case from somebody else. Because how it became Niratam and not Niratam, maybe could have been a woman, could have been a feminine form. That means somebody is standing behind it to give it that general number case. And of course in this one is Naradam. But you have to find that person. Find who it is. Don't leave the adjective. Same thing with pronouns. Any pronoun, don't leave them until you find out who is behind that. They also don't have their own gender number case. Ishu lingeshu vartante. They are all three genders, they will be there. Okay? So we got the padachhedaha. We got the padanvayaha, which is, again one more time, Valmikihi. No, sorry, one more time. Tapasvi Valmikihi. Tapaswadhyaya niratam. Vagvidam varam. Munipungavam. Naradam. Paripapracha. Also you can use that we learned in the prior class of Parasavaranaha. You can say Vagvidam varam. Vagvidam vidam varam. Make the Parasavarana. Should try not to say Vagvidam varam. Same thing, tapaswadhyaya niratan, you can say, niratan tapasvi. Okay, so we got padanvaya. Next thing is padartha. So, step number 3. The meaning of each pada. Now, when we saw the Gita Press website for the Gita, they had done all these for you. They already did the padacheda for you. Padanvaya is done, padartha is done, and below, next step is also done. So we are doing this on our own now. What we have now on this screen is only the final product. The English translation is there. So intermediate steps are not there. So we have to fill in ourselves. So let's try to get the padartha. And now here we will need to go a little into compounds. Now, Valmi tapasvi. First of all, what is a compound? What is a compound? Is tapasvi a compound? No. The reason is that if your compounds are covered in Ashtadhyayi sections 2.122, 2.1, 2.2, only 2 padas, and they are also not long padas. So if you really want to have the samasa naipunyam, you should try to focus on those 2 padas. In fact, all the scholars, they memorize those 2 padas. So if you know every compound, you will know exactly where it comes. So in short, if you want to compose any compound in this language, you have to find one sutram in 2.1 or 2.2 to authorize that usage. Some of them are very obvious. We still need to find them. So now in that, let me just maybe put Ashtadhyayi for 1 second. We won't go into details. 2.122. And there the anuvrittis are going down of sup and supa. Sup and supa means that if you have one subanta with another subanta, it can be compounded under, and again the further conditions are coming. So it says very first 2.1.1 says samartha padavidhi. Samartha padavidhi in simple term means that the compounded words should have some relation, which is logical relationship should be there between them. You cannot just compound words blindly without any connection between them. It's obvious, but that is what Pani says. There has to be samarthyam. There has to be some logical connection between them to make the samastapadam. And then next sutta is the anuvuti of sup. Subhamantrite. The sup is taking here from 2.1.2. And in supa which comes 2.1.4, sahasupa. If you take this together, it means sup sahasupa. So one sup is another sup. So as a general rule, when there is more than one subanta within a pada, then you have a compound. Now there is one important exception to this which we will see in the shloka itself. But let's look at the word tapasvi which we just saw. Clearly the word tapas is a pradipadikam. If you remove the word tapas, only thing left is the V. That V is not another subandha. That is a pratyaya from the tadita section. It's a tadita pratyaya in the sense of possession. Tapasvin is one who has tapas. One possesses tapas. Of course, even there is a slight further detail, is that somebody who has small amount of tapas will not be called tapasvi. only one who has, the prashastha tapaha, very special tapas, or you can say prachurena, when you have a lot of tapas, will be called tapasvi. So he should either have something special tapas, or he should have a lot of tapas. So if we say dhanavan, someone who has $1 is not called dhanavan. It's $1. He also has dhanam, but he's not dhanavan, because it comes in that meaning. This should be a rich man. So tapasvi, anyway, this is not a compound. So when you took out tapas, what you were left behind was only the one affix, which is the wind. And then the subanta ending was there too, which has dropped. So, on the other hand, this one here, tapasvadhyaya niratam, this is a three-pronged compound. Now, three-pronged compound, you should generally break them up. You should put the brackets over there. So we can put the first bracket as tapasvadhyaya. So tapas and swadhyaya. Now clearly you have two subantas within a pada, tapas and swadhyaya. This is the compound, and because the pada ends over here, niratam, the whole this is the full thing is samasta padam. You don't see a subanta ending here after swadhyaya. It all ends over here. There's the three padas in there at least. Tapas tapaha, swadhyaya, niratam. Now, as I said to you, even the ni and the su are also technically separate padas, but for the time being, we won't go that deep. We just take tapas, swadhyaya, niratam. Okay, so now comes the next question is, what kind of compound is this? And we won't go into too much detail, we'll give you a brief synopsis. We need to give a brief synopsis of compounds. So, generally, there are compounds of four kinds. In Panini's order, let's go back to that. Starts from 216, I think he starts with the avyayi bhava samasa, 215. It's called avyayi bhavaha. There's also a fifth category called miscellaneous. But let's take the four main ones. Then if they don't fit in these four, there's a miscellaneous category also is there. Avyayi bhava means something which is not an avyaya, we can made an avyaya. So these become indeclinables. It's number one speciality. So if something is not indeclinable, it is generally not an avyayi bhava samasa. But the term avyayi bhava itself means anavyayam avyayam bhavati iti avyayi bhava. You take an anavyayam and make it avyaya. Like the word yatha shakti. Yatha shakti karyam karoti. He acts according to his ability. The word shakti was actually not an avyaya. But by making the compound yatha shakti, it has now become an avyaya. So that's the avyayi bhava samasa. They are quite easy to spot. Because as I said, they create indeclinables. Not only that, look at the next sutram 216. It says avyayam and then long thing, right? Look at the sutram, it goes for 3 lines. The important thing is that an avyayam is compounded with something else. Yatha shakti. So yatha was an avyayam. Shakti was not. But that yatha went into compound with shakti and the whole thing became an avyaya. So that's the avyayi bhava samasa in just very high level definition. That avyayi bhava goes on. Do we have that? We don't have that. Because we have tapas swadhyaya niratam. It is declined over here. Not only that, if you look at the subsection, tapas swadhyaya, it becomes tapascha swadhyayascha tapas swadhyaya. You don't see it in the compound, but take my word for now that it will not be an avyaya. It is a compound which means clearly the meaning is tapaha and swadhyaya, means austerity and self-study. So they're not creating into a indeclinable. So the indeclinables also many times adverbs. Avyayi bhava samasas generally create adverbs. They qualify some verb. This is clearly not doing that. So that's avyayi bhava. We're going to see this many more times. I'm just giving very brief, okay? Not too many rules right now. This is not avyayi bhava samasa. So after that comes the the most common samasa is Tat Purushaha, and that starts from 2122. And I make this joke many times, is that Tatpurusha samasas go from 2122 up to 2222. From 2122 up to 2222 Tatpurusha. So Tatpurusha is this word itself is a Tatpurusha. The Tatpurusha name itself is a Tatpurusha. Tasya Purusha Tatpurusha means his man. Tatpurusha. So this is the Sanya which is in Panini. It has the Artha with it. That has one couple of main branches. Now that is really probably the most, in a way, complicated in the sense that it has further subdivisions. We'll only see one subdivision right now. We will see two right now. So the first subdivision is that, is it a Samajikarana or Vyadhikarana? Samajikarana means, is it an adjective noun kind of situation? When you say Mahapurushaha, are those two terms inside the compound referring to the same item or different items? Say Maha, so Maha and Purusha are referring to the same entity. One is adjective, one is noun. That's called a Karmadharya Samasa. So Karmadharya is a Bheda of Tatpurusha. It is under the Tatpurusha umbrella, okay? But it's a very important distinction. But if you want to make, when you come to Tatpurusha land, make a split right there. Are you talking about Samajikaranam or Vyadhikaranam? Samajikaranam will take you into Karmadharya land. Vyadhikaranam will be when the two items are not referring to the same thing. Tatpurusha, when I say Tasya Purushaha, it is his man. So he and man are different. They're not the same item. So his man. So this is called Vyadhikaranam. Adhikaranam is the same locus, the same base. So that Vyadhikaranam is there because Tat means somebody, maybe some Raja or somebody who it is, and Purushaha will be, could be Tasyaha Purusha also. So Tat Purushaha. So then we have different case relationships. Dvitiya Vibhakti case, maybe Tritiya Vibhakti case. There will be between those two words, there will be a case relationship. And that is the other branch. So either you have Samajikaranam, Vyadhikaranam. That's the main branch. Because the Samajikaranam branch is a big branch. So you need to understand that one. Now samasas are in odd form. They are not black and white. Unlike Sandhi rules, unlike Subantas, unlike Tingantas mainly, this is an art form. And Panini, maybe intentionally also, doesn't airtight this thing. It's not airtight. Maybe because the language may have changed, because in the Vedas, we don't have that many compounds. Only in later on the Kavyas and Puranas, we have these long these compounds. So maybe that could have happened. Maybe intentionally he might have left it open to allow further usages. So there's sometimes even the commenters will argue about the Vigraha Vakyam. So it's okay. There's not one single answer. Of course, many of them are straightforward, but some of them are not. So that's the Tatpurusha land. We will see that we only mentioned the Karmadhara as an important subsection of Tatpurusha when the two elements are referring to the same locus. They're the same locus. That is the that is when you say, for example, when you say Dushta Purushaha, it is clearly referring to the same man. So he is an evil man. So evil man is the same person, not someone else evil and someone else man, not like that. So that's Tatpurushaha. Now it does have a couple of other important, which I want to take one of them right now, which we will need in this shloka and the next one also. And that is called Upapada Samasa. And Pani gives the sutra Upapadam Ating. Upapadam Ating. And here Upapadam Ating. That will come in 2.2, I think around 2.2.19 is Upapadam Ating. There's only one sutram. It's Upapadam Ating. Now what's special about this sutram is that, as I said to you before, is that of this samasa normally you have two sups going together. One sup, another sup ending, like Tasya Purushaha. But here what you have is a chicken and egg problem, okay? Is that the soup is not ready before the samasa. The samasa cannot be made without the soup being ready. For example, I think we have an example in this shloka itself. Let's go back. Vagvidam varam. The Vagvidam. This is a genitive plural form. Shashti bahuvachanam. Vagvid is pratipadikam. Vagvid. But vid is a dhatu. It's not a subandha. It's not a pratipadikam. You cannot say veti vid. Maybe you could, but this one right now it is a. We'll take another one example. Maybe the next shloka you see. Dharmajnaha, Kutajnaha. So these you see there is a dhatu hanging at the end, which is not necessarily a sup complete right now. So what Panini says is that these terms which are called upapadas, as long as the upapada is there, you can take another term. Doesn't have to be already subanta. It could be just another shabda rupam, not subanta as yet, and form a compound as long as it's not tinganta. You cannot do. Oh, that's an important thing I forgot to mention. Is that the tingantas don't compound. Tingantas don't compound. You cannot say aham agacchami. I'm not going. You cannot say that. There might be some very rare examples, but for 99.9% tingantas don't come. Because it's again supa. It should be sup, another sup. Tinganta cannot compound. So Pani again here says that upapadam thing, that as long as the upapada is there, upapada can compound with another. So samarthena padena, padantarena, another pada can take, which is I shouldn't say padanta, I should take it back. She says samarthena shabda rupena. So we can take another form which can take, which has still a samarthyam. It has the capacity to compound, but it's not subanta ready yet. So these are called upapada compounds, where you have a dhatu form with some pratyaya, could be a zero also, as a right hand side, left hand side upapada. Now this question comes: can all dhatus, can they take any upapada and form any compound? Of course, the answer is no. What are the upapada which are authorized to take with what dhatus, what pratyayas to form these compounds? And that answer comes in the third adhyaya of Ashtadhyayi. Not going too much details, but I'll just point a section to you. Maybe someday we'll look at it in more detail. And that starts from this term. It comes in 3.1. Let's even find it here. 3.1.92. From 3.1.91 starts a dhato adhikara. This is dhatu adhikara. There are more than one dhatu adhikaras. This is the third one in this third adhyaya, dhato adhikara. And the next one, 3.1.92, Pani says tatra upapadam saptami stham. In this dhatu adhikara, tatra means asmin tritiya dhatu adhikare. If anything is saptami stham, if anything is in the saptami bhakti, that qualifies as an upapada. And it might also have some requirements. It might be should be so and so dhatu, should not be so and so dhatu. I'll take only one example. This is a long adhikara. It goes from, so that's upapadam thing, which was the samasa vidhayaka sutram, is only one small sutram. That's all it tells you. You can take a qualified upapada with qualified dhatu, with the qualified affix, and form a samasa, as long as the things are being created. Which are the qualified upapadas? We came here to find out which they are, which upapadas are given by Panini. And let's take example, kumbhakaraha. Kumbham karoti iti kumbhakaraha. One quick note for you: when you're looking at the Vigraha Vakyam in the commentary, in the Bhashyam or in the Tika, the Vigraha Vakyam of a Upapada Samasa normally will require a Tinganta Padam inside that. We say Kumbhakaraha. I cannot say Kumbhasyakaraha, but the word Karaha will not stand on its own. The term Karaha does not have an independent existence. It depends on that Kumbha or something else being there. So I have to say Kumbham Karoti iti Kumbhakaraha. So Karoti has to come in the Vigraha Vakyam. When you see that, if you see the Vigraha Vakyam, seeing a Tinganta Padam, that is the tip off that this probably is going to be Upapada Samasa. This is one way to learn compounds, by the way, is that you can go through nice tikas, as mentioned in the last class. You have the Sridhari tika for Gita, Valmiki, Ramayana has many commentaries. And just look at the Vigraha Vakyam which they give. And just only take those compounds. And can you understand those for them? That is a good way to start learning compounds. These Vigraha Vakyams have got canned formulas. They will not tell you Upapada Tatpurusha Samasa. They will not say that. What they will say is that Kumbham Karoti iti Kumbhakaraha. From that you have to understand this is the formula. This is the canned sentence for this kind of compound. And then you have to, from that you have to go, unless you look in a grammar book, of course they will give you the name, but otherwise they will not give you. So there 3-2-1 says Karmanyan. We'll take only one example, Karmanyan. What does it say? That if any karma, Karmani is in Saptami Bhakti. So remember we saw that sutram that we said that any Saptamiyantam Padam says Tatrapadam Saptamistham. So a karma can qualify as Upapada, which it didn't say which dhatu, so any dhatu to begin with, okay, there may be exceptions. So if you have the object of some dhatu, you can put the dhatu with the pratyaya an and form Upapada Samasa. You say Kumbha plus plus kru plus an, you got a compound, Kumbhakaraha. Because this sutra says that I can take the object which is karma of this dhatu kru, I can put a dhatu kru over there with the pratyaya and make a compound. Now the word karaha could not stand on its own, required the kumbha to be there, because only when you apply the sutram the an cannot come without the karmani. So you could not form karaha ahead of time. You could only make the kumbhakara directly. So this is a very brief description of Upapada Samasas. And the main sutras are from 3-1 to 3-100. Most of them come in there. A couple of them are outside. They tell you which Upapadas can take which dhatus, what affixes to form Upapada Samasas. So that Upapada Samasa is a subset of Tatpurusha Samasas. That's why I mentioned it now. Let's leave it at that for the time being. We'll come back to this. But in the prior class, there was one good comment, I think, which somebody made. I think it was, I forgot the name. She said that I forgot to mention that the sutra which we saw today, the Enga Padantadati, that is it is an apavada partially for the sutra Echo Yavayavaha. Because Echo Yavayavaha requires any H followed by Achi, while the Enga Padantadati requires an Eng, which is a subset of H, followed by Ati only, and should be Padanta Eng. So the Eng of Padanta Dati has a lot of restrictions on it. Should be only Eng, should be Padanta, followed by short. So thank you for that. So that Eng of Padanta Dati is a Apavada partially for the Echo Yavayava. Okay, so moving along. Tatpurushas we have seen. And next one that point take, this is a big section. Okay, so we'll see more of them. When we come to them, we'll come to more details. Right now I want to leave it at that. I will take the whole class for that. The next one that point takes up is what he calls as we come back to 2-1 section, Dvandva Samas, one of the easiest ones, Dvandva. Dvandva means A and B, X and Y, Rama Lakshmana. So Radha Krishna. That means that it means Ramascha Lakshmanascha Rama Lakshmana, A and B. And doesn't have to be only two. You can say Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugnaha, all four of them. You can keep them all together. So that is the simple sutram Pani gives, Charthe Dvandvaha. Here it is, 2-2-29, Charthe Dvandvaha. You say Cha means A and B, Cha Arthe. This meaning of Cha is given by Dvandva Samasa. Actually in the Gita, Krishna says, Dvandva Samasikasya Cha. That among compounds, I am Dvandva, Krishna says. I don't know, the Lord says that, I guess my interpretation for that might be that Dvandvas are balanced compounds, they're balanced. Samattam Yoga Uchyate, right? Because in the Tatpurushas and Avebhava and Bahuvari, there is some imbalance there. One is more important than the other. In Dvandva, both are equally important, so to speak. That's why in 10th Adhyaya of Gita you find is Dvandva Samasikasya cha, what Krishna says. So within compound and Dvandva. Anyway, very simple single sutram Chacha Dvandva. So that is probably in terms of ease of spotting, this is probably the easiest one. Only one complication here is that I say Rama Lakshmana, it became a dual form. Say Rama Lakshmana Bharata Shaktagnaha became a plural form. Sometimes the grouping is done and to make it into a singular group, like Panipadam, Sukha Dukkham. It's also a Dvandva. It's called Samahara Dvandva. So don't always depend on becoming into a plural or multiple or a dual plural form. Sometimes it's called Samahara Dvandva. Will make it into a singular neuter form. So it may form a singular neuter group form. So that's enough for the Dvandva. Last one is the main one, is that Shesha Bahuvrihi. Is that you will see the I think I went the wrong order, I'm sorry, excuse me for that. Actually this one comes, the Shesha Bahuvrihi is the 2-2-23. So I guess going by the Panini order, I should have taken that one first. Shesha Bahuvrihi. The Bahuvrihi itself is a Bahuvrihi. Bahu means a lot, many, much, and Vrihi is rice. So one who has a lot of rice. So he's a rich man. In the old days, of course, Dhanyam was Pradhanyam, so it was a rich man. Now one way to look at the samasas is that which is the important pada in the samasa? Is it the left-hand side, Purva pada, right-hand side, is it both? Generally speaking, as I said, Dvandva is Ubhaya pada pradhanaha. Means both the padas have equal importance. I mean, I'm not saying Rama Lakshmana are equal. I'm saying is that the padas there is just A and B, B and A, Radha Krishna Abhyam. So they have A and B. It's not like one is dominating. You cannot do one without the other and express the compound, even in brief. You cannot just say Rama and hope to convey in any simplicity Rama Lakshmana. But in Tatpurushas, it is Uttara Pradhana, Prayana. This is all Prayana, means for the most part. Uttara Pada is Pradhanyam. Let's take our own example right now. If we take an example of Tatpurusha compound, we see here, now we have the Tapaswadhyaya is a Dvandva compound. Dvandva. This Tapascha Swadhyayascha Tapaswadhyayav. A and B, Dvandva. Now, between that Dvandva and the Niratam, right, we have a relationship of a case relationship. It's a Tatpurusha compound. It is not Avyabhava. It is not going to be Bahu. We'll come to Bahu. We'll come to it in a second. But the word Niratam is the important one there. Is that he is engaged. He delights. Tasya Ruchirasti. He enjoys. He is one who delights or enjoys. Delights in austerity and in Swadhyaya. So that Niratam is the Pradhana Padam there. He is the one who enjoys. That he enjoys in X and Y is a little bit secondary. But the important thing is that he enjoys. He's engaged in something. So this is why this Tatpurusha are called the Uttara Pradhana Tatpurusha. Now we'll come to some more details. We're not going to leave that one. But let's go to Avyabhava, which we just covered. That's Prayena Purapada Pradhana. Yatha Shakti. As per his ability. No, as per, in keeping with, not exceeding. That has importance. Not exceeding what is kind of secondary. We say Yatha Dhanam, Yatha Balam. That can change, that all can change. The Pradhanyam is with the word Yatha. It's called Purapada Pradhana. How about Bahuvrihi? Bahuvrihi is called Anyapada Pradhana. It is Pradhanyam is in some other term which is not even in the compound. And that links to the Panini Sutram where he says that Anekamanya Padarthe. Anekamanya Padarthe. Here is only 2-24. He says Anekam Anya Padarthe. So this condition of Bahuvri is that the item being referred to is not in the compound. Like when we say Mahabahu Arjunaha. Arjuna is a Mahabahu. No, he is mighty armed. We had Neil Armstrong, right? Neil Armstrong is also Mahabahu. So Mahabahu means he one who has. So Arjuna may not be strong. He is certainly not the arm himself. So mighty arm means that one who has. So Mahantau Bahu Yasya Saha. Say Pitambara Vishnu. So you can say Pitam Ambaram Yasya Saha Vishnu. So you have to use this Yat Tat construct to construct a Bahuvrihi Vigraha Vakyam. So one who has that, or one from that, or one by that. So it becomes, so because Vishnu may not be either yellow or the cloth, but he is the one who has the yellow cloth. As a general rule in Bahuvrihi, the adjective goes prior. Adjective goes prior. We say Pitam Varaha Vishnu. Pita is adjective, yellow cloth. Yellow goes first in Bahuvrihi. Same thing Mahabahu, it goes first in Bahuvrihi. So if you have an adjective at the end, it is most likely not a Bahuvrihi. Now going back to Pradhanyam, what I said was that if you can take the Pradhana Padam, you can convey the basic meaning of the Samasaha. So when I say Tapaswadhyaya Niratam, Niratam, if I just said Niratam, it will convey enough to get, give the basic gist of the Samasa. In Bahuvrihi, I have to make it Anyapada Pradhana. I have to say Vishnu. I have to say Arjuna. Only then I can give the gist. If I say Pitam or Ambaram, it gives no meaning of the Samasa at all. It's Anyapada Pradhana it is. And Dvandva is Upapada Pradhana. I have to give both of them. So that is, if you have an adjective, it's most of the time you just go in the following ladder, okay? Start with Dvandva. Those are very easy to spot, A and B. Say Tapas Swadhyaya. Is Tapas and Swadhyaya together, A and B. Avyaya Bhava is also easy to rule out because the whole pada has to be an Avyaya. And most of the time it's been Avyaya before also, in the Purva Pada. When those two are gone, then comes the main battleground, which is between Tatpurusha and Bahuvrihi. That is where Lord, because the word Pitambaram could have been Tatpurusha also. Could mean just a yellow cloth. Just the yellow cloth could have been Pitambaram. So now from the context only you will know Pitambara is different to Vishnu and Pitambaram is the cloth. One more thing, I mentioned Pitambaraha. The word Ambaram was neuter. The fact that you have Linga Parivartanam, which has to be Bahuvrihi. It changes gender. How can Ambaram change its gender? Only because it's now the compound is referring to somebody else outside the compound. When I say Pitambaraha, and you know Ambaram is neuter, you will immediately know this has to be Bahuvrihi. Because that's the only way Ambaram can change the gender. Another way to look at it is that Bahuvrihi creates adjectives from nouns. Bahuvrihi creates adjectives from nouns. This has them in English also. Say he's a blue collar. He's neither blue nor the collar. He's a blue collar worker. He's the one who has a blue collar. Say she's a redhead. Redhead doesn't mean she's not either a head nor is she red. But she has a head which is redhead. Now blue bird is a Karmadharya, is a Karmadharya compound now. Because blue bird is the bird who's blue. So blue bird is a Tatpurusha Samasa Karmadharya, adjective noun. While blue collar is a Bahuvrihi. So it's not different to collar itself. It's somebody outside that collar. It's a Bahuvrihi. So if you have an adjective at the end, it is most likely a Tatpurusha compound. If the adjective is prior, it's most likely Bahuvrihi. So this is where mostly Dvandvas are easy to spot. Avibhavas are quite easy to spot. Between Bahuvrihi and Tatpurusha, follow some basic rules. See if there has been a gender change. That is Bahuvrihi. See if the adjective is the beginning or later. Beginning is Bahuvrihi, later is Tatpurusha. So we'll leave it for that for today. I know we spent more than half an hour on this, but without this, we'll just be making like wild guesses on the meanings. So let's take these. So Tapas Swadhyaya is a Dvandva. Now we only were talking about 2 item samasas. Now we have 3 items here now. Tapas Swadhyaya. So you can say Tapas Swadhyaya yoho niratam. One who is engaged in Tapa and Swadhyaya. So we have a Dvandva Garbha. Dvandva Garbha means that it has a Dvandva inside its womb. So there is a Dvandva compound contained inside a Tatpurusha compound. And when that happens, the niratam will connect to each one of them. You can say tapasi niratam and swadhyaye niratam. One who is engaged in tapas and in swadhyaya. The whole thing is tatpurusha compound. Inside that you have a dvandva. Tapas, swadhyaya, niratam. So let's follow this methodology going forward. You get plenty of practice. Compounds are everywhere. It's just the top level methodology we gave today. Okay. Let's move on. So that is what's called the padartha step. We are step number 3. Okay. We did the padacheda. We did padanvayaha. Now we're doing padartha. And after padartha, the next step is going to be vakyartha. You give the whole meaning of the whole shloka. Vakya, I should say vakyam. And then finally, step number 5, which we will not be doing, is the Purvapada Siddhanta. You have arguments back and forth. That's mainly for philosophy, not for us right now. There will be objections. Then you have to satisfy them. Also, what we will not be doing is doing the chandas and alankara. Means you go into what the meter is, what the poetic devices are being used. That also we will, because this is mainly Vyakaranam we are doing. So Vyakaranam pretty much ends over there. Only then you have to go into the Tattvajnana part or the Kavyam part. So that we will not do in this class. I mean, that's also a science on its own, but we'll do only the first 4. Padacheda, Padanvayaha, Padarthaha, Vakyarthaha. We will not be doing the Purvapada Siddhanta Vicharaha. We will not be doing the Chandas Shastram or the Alankara Shastram. Now, so let's move on. We are at step number 3, doing the Padartha. The Tapasvi. You already mentioned it before. This Pratyaya Vini is what is called Matuparthya Pratyaya. Matuparthya. Matup means that the Pratyaya Mat, like Shriman, Shrimati. So these are, and this Matup has many other apavadas to it, many further pratyayas to it. One of them is this Vini. Pratyaya Vin. Tapas Vin is the Pratipadikam. They all come at the end of 5. If you want to look at Ashtadhyayi, they come at the end of 5.2. I just give you the very broad section. Somebody wants to study them. You can see Tatadita is a huge jungle. Good news is that some of those parts of the jungle are quite well defined. This is one of them. It is very well used pratyaya, and it all comes in one section. It starts from 5 to end of 5.2. 5 to 94. Tadasyastad asyasti asminiti matup. From 5 to 94 to end of 5.2 are all his pratyayas. In that, you will find the pratyaya Vini in there. See, here it is. 5 to 121 is Vini. This is As Maya Medha Sajaha Vinihi. So any shabda ending in As can take Vini. We have the word tapas. Because of that, the Vini pratyaya can be used. Anyway, won't go in detail, but 5 to 121. So from 5 to 94 to end of 5 to Matubadikara, well worth studying. A lot of words come from that. Even the word Bhagavan, a lot of them come from that. So tapasvi. Now Vagvidam. Vagvidam is the one which is going to be Upapada Samasa. So there is a word called Vach. Vach means speech. And a dhatu called Vid. Vid means to know. Now Vagvidam, what is the Pratipadikam here? Oh, one more thing I should mention. When you have any Subanta, you should immediately specify 3 things. What is the gender, number, case? And what is the Pratipadikam? So in this case, the Pratipadikam is Vagvid, Dakaranta. And this is Pullinga, Shashti, Bhuvachanam. Pullinga Shabdaha, Shashti, Bhuvachanam. Now, so Vagvid. Now Vagvid is ending in that dhatu vid. So this is a pratyaya which Panini calls as a quip. It's a 0 pratyaya. So Panini adds pratyaya which boils down to just a 0. So why does he add a 0? Because you cannot just take a dhatu and start adding subanta, subpratyas to that. It has to be a pratipadikam. So he converts a dhatu into pratipadikam. Even though there's only a 0 in between there, that 0 is converting that dhatu into pratipadikam. So here we will what? Vagvidam is what? We say Vacham Vettiti Vagvid. So watch we had. So one who knows that. Since the Pradikam is watch, you have to make it vacham, Dvitiya Ekavachanam. Vacham vetti iti vagvid. Someone who knows speech. So this is, as I said to you, in the Vigraha Vakyam, we saw Tinganta, we say vetti iti. That tells you it's a special kind of Tatpura Samasa. It is not a Dvandva, it is not Avyabhava, it declined. It is not Bahuvri either, because the word with already is inside there. One who knows it is in the compound. For Bahuvri, somebody who is not in the compound should have Pradhanyam. Here we already have him in this with. So it becomes Vagvidam. Then, as I said, Shashti can with Varam. Vagvidam, Varam. Varaha Dhatu is Vru, the one who is chosen. Like Vara is the bridegroom, one who is chosen. One who is the best, he is chosen. One more thing before I go on is that this whole language comes from only a few hundred dhatus with many, many pratyayas. It really pays to build your dhatu bank. So keep track of these dhatus. Let's see which ones do we have here. Some of them are easy to spot, and to be honest with you, many of dhatu we know from our mother tongue. If you know Hindi or Telugu or maybe not Tamil so much, but if you know even Malayalam, if you know, or if you know Gujarati, Marathi, of course Hindi, you will know these dhatus. You may not know what pratyayas come, but you have heard the dhatu in some form or the other. The word tapasvi we know, varam we know, prashna we know, pracha we know. We know all of these dhatus. So here the dhatu is tap, is to perform austerity. Here it is adhi-i. This is a hard one too. It's okay if you don't find it, it's okay. But adhi-i dhatu is ing adhyayane. And is upasarga adhi is su adhi-i, ing adhyayane. Become adhyaya, swadhyaya. That may not be hard. So we got second dhatu. So we got tap, we got e, we got niratam dhatu is ram, ramate, nateshu ramate bhudaha, Bhagavad Gita. Right? So we can have dhatu ram, third one we found. Right? The same tap is coming here. Here we got two dhatu. We got vach and vid. We have, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have vach and vid. Dhatu vru is to choose. We have sixth dhatu here. Is dhatu probably could be maybe dhatu da over here. Da is who gives, possibly. Could be the dhatu prach. This is of course the tinganta, so we have no dhatu there, right? That's the tinganta form. So we got maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if you notice pungavam, if you probably may not find anyone here. See, some of these, this is also another thing. Does every word come from a dhatu? That's controversial. Some grammarians say every pradipadikam has to come, every pradipadikam, even the word cha or va or na or api, whatever, they have to come from somewhere, from some dhatus. Others say, well, some of them may come, some of them might be like nipatanam. So it is what is called a vyutpatti pakshaha. Vyutpatti pakshaha means everything has etymology. Now my little take on that is that whatever pratyaya that Panini specifically gives in the Ashtadhyayi, those we should know. We should find them. Some of them he relegates to the appendices, what's called unadi pataha. And those are a gray area. They are kind of stretches. Those we may not know, that's okay. And some of them are complete stretches. So at least the one Panini gives in the Ashtadhyayi, we should try to know those pratyayas, and then you can find these dhatus. So and then unadis you can take with a pinch of salt. Others you can even ignore them. So anyway, we still found quite a few. We found tap, we found adhi-i, adhi is upasarga. We found ram, on the tap again, found vach, found vid, found vuru, maybe dhatu da in here possibly. We found, why possibly? Because why do I say possibly? This word probably is not formed in the Panini Ashtadhyayi. It may be, there may be etymology, this may be a compound. Could be, they could take nara and then make the from that, one who gives nara, possible. There may be other ways of forming that. So it's not entirely clear to us, not very straightforward. It's okay, we'll leave it. Dhatu pracha is here, and then, this we probably didn't find anything. You can probably find, okay, if we register, we can probably find something here also, but it's not obvious, so we'll leave it for the time being. So we found quite a few. Now, the dhatu pata has more than 2,000 dhatus, out of which more than half, and I'm not joking, more than half are not used. More than half are not used. That means that you can imagine how much of the Vedas we have lost. For more than half of the dhatus are not to be seen anywhere today, nowhere, including the Vedas. That means that Panini couldn't make them up just like that. So he must have seen them at his time. They're all gone. That's good news for us in a way, because we only have a few hundred left now, and out of which many we know, some we don't know. So please try to build a dhatu bank, because once you get the hang of these dhatus and how the pratyas attack onto that, you can then start making very good guesses of what the meaning of a word could be. See, English is hard. You have to learn a million words in English, literally thousands of words. You don't know where they came from. It's very hard. But here, if you know a few hundred dhatus and you know some pratyas, you can start, doing stuff. So that's useful. So keep track of the dhatus. Where were we? Vagvidamvaram Naradam. You just take it as a proper noun for now, Naradam. The Paripapracha. This is a Tinganta form. Upasarga is Pari. There are only 22 Upasargas, what are called Pradis. Only 22 of them. Pari is one of them. O is not one of them. But A is, like you can say Agachati. You cannot say Agachati. Para, Pari, Api, there are many of them. Not 22, I shouldn't say many again, 22. Anu is one of them. We'll see them, some is one of them. They'll come along the way. So dhatu is pracha. Now the meaning of this is what we talked about is three past tenses. The lung, lung, and the lit. This is the lit past tense, because Shankarji taught us that we in the lung and the lung you get the adagama. You get the a before the dhatu. In the lit you get a duplication, which I am before that. So if you take this, the dhatu is prach, and this pa is a duplicated form of that. This pa, papracha. What happens in duplication is that, just give one small rule, is that only a consonant can stay only if it is the first member. So in what is called abhyasa, in the abhyasa bhagaha, right, the sutra called haladi shesha, is that a hal can stay only if it's adi. So then in prach you see you have pa, ra, cha, and cha. Only the pa is adi. So all the rest are gone. Only pa stays. Papracha. So you can also start making good guesses of what the dhatu could be, because all other halves go, only the first one remains. Papracha. What about the ending? Shouldn't we look at a tip or something there? Because we saw tip plus G and all that. What happens in the lit lakara? They all get replaced. They all get replaced. Also, the lit is used only parokshe lit. Parokshe lit. Which means that they are used when the speaker did not experience the event. The speaker did not experience the event. Now look at this one. This interesting situation we have here. What is shloka say? Valmiki asked Narada. Now who's writing this? Supposedly Valmiki is writing this. Then how can Valmiki say, I asked Narada and I wasn't there? Didn't experience this? Now there are two ways to answer this. You can say this first part, this first adhyaya is not really Valmiki writing. Somebody else wrote this as a synopsis of Ramayana. If that is the case, then you don't need to worry about it, because then the speaker is not Valmiki. If you take Valmiki as a speaker, clearly it's not Parokshi. He cannot say, I asked Narada and I was not in my senses. That doesn't make any sense. So, but you can accept it that he has not followed Panini's rule. Because when Panini says Parokshe lit, Valmiki has not followed that rule. So that's the other way out. So either we take it that somebody else is narrating this, or the rule is not being followed. So right here you have an example where Panini's rules for which lakaras can be used where are not strictly followed. So these three past tenses are used many times interchangeably. So unfortunately that will not help us. But so the lung is supposed to be not of today. Lit is supposed to be not of today, parokshe, which the speaker did not experience. And remaining is the lung. So lung remains only the recent past becomes lung basically. This is way back, and but this should have been some other form if Valmiki himself is speaking. But anyway, the form is a lit form, And in lit, since it is going to be parokshe, it's only mostly third person. Because you cannot say I did something, I wasn't there. You cannot say you did something. Generally, if I and you are speaking, I can't say you did something once upon a time. You are in front of me now, probably unlikely. So mostly third person. And the tip dashji, the first three ending tip dashji, they become null, atus, us. A, atus, and us. That's why this tip has gone here and become only an a. I'll use sutra number. Just you can, if you want, you can look for it on your own. This number is in 3.4. It comes as sutram. Here it is, 3482. In parasmay pada, nal, atus, us, thal, atus, a, nalvamaha. The first pratyaya is null. When you take the pratyaya null, the na is an it by chutu, the la by halantyam, only a remains. In short, the tip becomes an a. You know that much maybe. So like Dhritarashtra uvacha, that pratyaya also is tip. The tip has become into an a. That is the third person singular parasmipada lit. Paripapracha. Now one more compound. The Valmiki is interesting tadhita, by the way, from Valmika. Valmika is an anthill. So from that he came from the anthill. You know the story about him coming from the anthill, chanting Rama, Rama, Rama. So he became Valmiki. So he was born from the anthill. So it's not a compound. It's tadhita pratyaya there. And now Muni Pungavam is a compound. What kind of compound is it? Let's use our methodology, which we spend so much time today. Let's see Muni Pungavam now. Is it A and B? Is it a Muni and a Pungavaha? Pungava is a bull. Muni is a sage. So the meaning is he's the best among sages. He's a bull among sages. Or he's a sage who's like a bull. Could be. Bull in the sense of Shreshtaha. Muni Shreshtaha, Muni Indraha, Muni Pramukhaha. We can make it like that. Now, so it's not Avyabhava, it's declined. It cannot be Avyabhava. It's not Dvandva. Because Muni is the Pungava. It's not a Muni and another bull somewhere else. So that is it is not Dvandva. It is not Avyabhava. It is not Bahuvri either. Because the Muni is in the Samasa, he is there, referring to him. So in Tatpurusha land. Within Tatpurusha we made two branches. Is Samadhikaranam, Vyadhikaranam. The Muni is the Pungava. He is the bull. So you can say that this is a kind of this mostly kind of Karmadharaya. But the problem is that generally in Karmadharaya the adjective goes first. Adjective goes first. But there are some special compounds in Karmadharaya where you have like a simile compound. We say like Nara Vyagraha. Nara Vyagraha means Naraha Vyagraha Iva. He is a man who is like a tiger. Man who is like a tiger. So that simile, the Upama, when the Upama is there, the Upama goes at the end. This is a special case of a compound. I would make the Vakyam as Munihi Pungavaha Iva. So he is a sage who is like a bull. Means who is the best. Who is a sage who is the best. Now in English we translate, we can say best of sages, best among sages. But that's not it, because that's going to be difficult, because then he actually becomes a bull. He's not actually a bull. He's only Upama for him. So you have to say Munihi Pungavaha Iva. So this is not a Dvandva, it's not a Vyabhava, it's not Bahuvrihi, it's a Tatpurusha, it's most likely Samadhikaranam Tatpurusha, makes it Karmadharaya. Only thing special here was Upama was involved over here. I'll give you Sutra number again. If you want, you can read on your own. It is in as I said to you, from 2122 to 2222 is Tatpurusha. Within that, in the end of 21 comes the Karmadharaya section, and in that this is the one. This is 2156. Upamitam Vyagradhibihi Samanya Prayoge. What it means is that the thing which is being, the item which is being given a simile, which in this case Valmiki, Muni. Vyagradhibihi. So Vyagra, the class of words. So we can assume Pungava is in that. Samanya Prayoge. Samanya Prayoge means the quality is not mentioned which makes them equal. In this case, you can say Shreshthatvam is the quality. So he is like a leader, leadership quality. The leadership quality is not in the samasa. He will supply something. So he is a muni who is like a bull in terms of leadership or excellence. Supply that. So Sutta is 2156. You can look at it if you want to. So now we got the whole sentence. Is that the sage Valmiki, who was the leader among sages or best of sages? In English, you have to make it right, best of sages, who was engaged, who was endowed with ascesis or tapas. He asked Muni Narada, who himself was engaged in tapas and swadhyaya, and who was the best of the knowers of speech. Now, the thing I want to show you now is that look at his translation down here. That's why I put this book here. The good thing is that to make your life easy, you can just look at the translation, which is very faithful and wonderful. And you can try to connect as much as you can. Even if you could not do all of this.
Satishji, there is a question from Venkataraju. If you'd like to take that sometime, please.
Oh, yes, I'll take it right now. Yes, sir. Venkata? Hello? No.
And he's typed it already. He's saying Pungavam is the second case, so it belongs to Narada.
Yes, yes. Good point. I'm sorry. Did I say Valmiki all the time? Okay. No. Yes. Thank you. He's absolutely correct. Pungavam is second case, belongs to Narada. But the etymology is the same. So we'll redo it again. Thank you for the correction. That was a mistake on my part. The still means Munihi Pungava Iva. In this case, it is Naradam and not Valmiki. I think we went through it in the beginning, then I made a mistake afterwards. So absolutely correct. Pungavam is second case. It cannot be Valmiki. It has to be Naradam only. We'll make it again. Actually, when we come now, we have found the error when we came to translation. You can always check. By the way, this is the final step in any translation. Is you go to the Vyakhyanam, go to the Tika, go to the Bhashyam. You have to respect them and give them their due. See, when I made this mistake, now I should have gone to the Bhashyam or the Tika, and there clearly they will say that it is Narada and not Valmiki. And of course, it's a silly mistake, but in any case, that should be the step number 6 or 5 in our case. Is check with the scholars what they have to say, because many times you'll find, oh my God, I didn't realize this. You go through the whole thing and you think you got it, and then you look at it and say, oh, look at that. So there's something else is coming here. So, and then actually the objective is to think like the Tikakara, to think like the Bhashyakara. When you get to that point, then you're pretty much, you're done, so to speak. You can even argue with them maybe. So anyway, thank you. Yes, Muni Pungavam is clearly Naradam. It's a Dvitiya Vibhakti, not Prathama. This is also one more pitfall. See, Valmiki and Muni Pungavam were placed back to back. That caused me to make the error. You see that? Doesn't mean anything, because Valmiki is Prathama, Muni Pungavam is Dvitiya Muni Pungavam. So it should go with Naradam. So these words can be jumbled up. They don't have to be related to each other. So translation one more time is that Valmiki was only one adjective, who was tapasvi, who was endowed with tapas. He asked Narada, who now has 3 adjectives, was engaged in tapas and swadhyaya, who was best among the knowers of speech, and who was the leader of munis. Now look at the translation now. The ascetic Valmiki. Ascetic is tapasvi. So you can build a vocabulary. Tapasvi means ascetic. You may not know the pratyaya vini, you may not know its matupartha pratyaya, but you got a feel for it. You probably know the word tapas. You got the word tapasvi means ascetic. So you start getting a feel for the language without all the grammar rules for time being. Then Valmiki is clearly Valmiki in the shloka itself. Then put the following question, direct. Okay, just look at this. Paripracha means he asked. Now pari can have various meanings. This is the upasarga dhatu, sanyoga, when the sanyukta artha comes, when the meaning comes. You have to really get this from usage only. Vyakaranam will not help you so much here, because that's one thing about Panini, he doesn't tell you meaning so much. He assumes you already know that. We can learn only. He only does the grammar operations. So this can be got mainly from use. There are some general direction you can get. You can try the upasarga on some other dhatus, like parivartanam. Parivartanam means change. So vrit means to turn or to exist. Parivartanam means to turn around, change. It can be like around. Like paryupasate comes in Gita. Nanna chintayanto mam yajana paryupasate. 9th adhyaya paryupasate. Worship me all around. Kind of zero in on me, paryupasate. So they have made it as who asked the question direct. So direct is called as pari. The pari has been made direct. So that could be one interpretation. So this gives some feel how pari can act like that maybe. So pari pracha, that put the question is papracha. Pari is direct. How about the word following? It is not in the shloka. This word following is understood only from the context. They will not say nimnoktam. Nimnoktam means which is given below. They will not say that. In English, that word following is very common. It's also mostly left out. So following, they take it from the context. To Narada is Naradam. The chief of hermits, Muni Pungavam. We already saw that. Pungava is a bull. It means body chief. Then nays in brackets. The foremost of those skilled in expression. Foremost is Varam. Skilled is with. That with dhatu, with the knower. Expression is vach. So Vagvidam Varam. Who remains ever engaged, that is the Niratam. Remains is supplied. In ascesis, that's tapas. See, and self-study. So you got the samasa also you got here. Ascesis and self-study. So that is the Dvandva samasa. And see, engaged in. So this is a Tatpurusha coming here. Engaged in ascesis and self-study. Study of the Vedas. So the whole point of this today was also to show that if you can do this, keep on doing this, whatever you can get, it's okay. Take whatever you can get. And keep on following like that, your knowledge will be enormous knowledge you will get. Enormous knowledge. And get a feel for the language. And then you'll be ready to observe the rules also better. So do both side to side. Do some Ramayana. Gita is first. Ramayana, you have 24,000 shlokas. We did only one today. We'll do a little bit of second one also, but maybe one only we did so far. And we got so much knowledge out of one. Of course, the same kind will repeat themselves all the time. You can imagine how much you will get. Enormous. So that is the first shloka. Maybe what I'll leave you about 10 minutes left. I'll maybe just take the second shloka quickly and then we'll continue next time. You can work on it at home and maybe fill in some details. So, konvasmin sampratam loke gunavan kascha viryavan dharmanyascha kritajnyascha satyavakyo dridham vrataha. Padacheda is kaha, nu, asmin. As you see the yan sandhi there, with nu and asmin become iko and achi. Even the prior one, kaha, nu, we saw the sandhi which we saw earlier today, hashicha. So we got that kaha. So kaha, nu, asmin, sampratam, loke, gunavan, kaha, cha, virjavan, dharmanyaha, cha, kritajnyaha, cha, satyavakyaha, dridham vrataha. First thing we should strike you, there is no tinganta form here, no verb. When that happens, and the vakya is you think is complete, it may not be complete. If it is complete, then you have to supply the appropriate form of us or bhu or vrit. You can say kaha vartate, kaha asti, kaha bhavati, who is. That is understood. One more thing with translation is that they group the shlokas together already. So you look at the translation down here. They took the number 2 individually. Means that shloka is probably is self-contained. It's not tagging on to some other shloka and giving the tinganta over there. This will make your life easy. You look at the translation down there and see how many shlokas have they taken together. They've taken only one, means you're done with that. You should be able to supply some verb and make it make sense. So he says, so kaha nu asmin. So if you want to make the we did padacheda. The padanvaya is that you can do like this. Simple sentence is kaha gunavan asti, kaha viryavan asti, kaha dharmajnaha asti, kaha kritajnaha asti, kaha satyavakyo asti. Satyavakyah asti. Kaha Dridhavratah asti. So who is Gunavan, who is possessed of good qualities? Who is heroic, Viryavan? These are all Matu Pratyas, possession affixes. Who is Dharmajnaha, the compounder for us, Dharmajnaha. Same thing, you have a dhatu at the end, it's probably going to be Dharmam Janati iti Dharmajnaha. So one who is a knower of Dharma. Kritajnaha is one who knows what has been done. He is grateful. So who is grateful? Who is Satya? How about this compound? Satya Vakyaha. This has to be Bahuvrihi because the gender has changed. Vakyam became Vakyaha. This has to be Bahuvrihi. So Satyani, Vakyani, Yasya Saha. We can Satyam Vakyam, we say Satyam Vakyam Yasya Saha. So one whose speech is truthful. This is Bahuvrihi. Satya Vakya. Dridhav Vrataha. Also Bahuvrihi. Dridhaha Vrataha Yasya Saha. One whose vows are firm. Because this is not a Dvandva, it's not A and B, it's not Avya Bhava, it's not Avya. We're not talking about Vrata itself, we're talking about the one who has firm vows. So simple sentence becomes, and we go through the grammar next time in detail, is that who, the nu means indeed, who could it be? It is a particle which has these kind of shades of meanings, who indeed. Asmin loke. These are all you can tack on later. Asmin loke means in this world. Saptami ekavachanam. Asmin is a pronoun. See, Asmin is a pronoun from idam. When you have pronoun, see which is noun behind it. It's loke. Asmin loke. In this world. In this what? In this world. Now the word Sampratam is also an Amvaya. Sampratam means Asmin kale. At this time. So who indeed in this world at this time is possessed of quality, means good qualities. Who is heroic? Kaha cha Viryaman. So this what pratyaya, vatu pratyaya is Viryaman is pratipadikam is Virya, what pratipadikam. We will run through that one time. So Kaha is nominally singular, masculine, pratipadikam kim. Nu is an Avya. Asmin is masculine, locative singular. Idam is a pratipadikam there. Then Sampratam is an Avya. Sampratam is an indeclinable. Loke is genitive singular, locative singular of word Loka. It's like Ramavat. Gunavan is like Bhagavan. It is masculine, nominal singular, Gunavat pratipadikam. Kaha again the same as before. Masculine, nominal singular. Cha is an Avya. Viryavan is same as Gunavan. Masculine, nominal singular. Dharmajnaha also masculine, nominal singular. Cha is an Avya. Vitajnaha, masculine, nominal singular. Cha is an Avya. Satyavakyaha, we already did that one. Even though Vakyam is neuter, because the Bahuvri has become masculine, nominal singular. Dridhav Vrataha is the same thing, masculine, nominal singular. So we are out of time. Let's look at translation. Who can possibly be full of virtues? So who is Kaha? Possibly is Nu. Now can be, he just supplied that now. So means Kaha Sampratam Gunavan Bhavet. You supply the form of Bhu, which you can use. So we probably can use Bhavet, who can be. That is supplied. Full of virtues, Gunavan. In this is Asmin. So in this world is Asmin Loke. At present is Sampratam. Sampratam. So you can build a vocabulary so much by going back and getting that. So Ne is a Cha. Ne is Cha. Who is again Kaha? Possessed of prowess. Probably Viryavan. The possessed is the affix Matup, that what affix Matup is possessed of. And knows what is right. Dharmajnaha. Dharmam Janaji Dharmajnaha. Who is again Kaha? Is conscious of service done. Krutajnaha. Service done is Kruta, that which is done. Krutajnaha. Who is grateful. Truthful of speech. Satyavakyaha. And firm of resolve. Dridhav Vrataha. Dridha is firm, Vrataha is resolve. So this is a very good way to learn this language if you can practice, and if you have any questions, please ask. It took a long time to do one shloka because we had to go through some basic compounds. But next time I hope we can do maybe 3 or 4. If I'll put this page on the web, if you can practice on your own, and you have the transition down here also, try to as much as you can. And if you have any questions, we'll cover them next time. We won't be able to go through all the rules, but we will give you some pointers, and hopefully you can look them up. We'll come to them eventually. But Sandhis we'll try to get more and more rules. Maybe we'll try to actually use the sutra that we have learned. So it's 6 o'clock exactly. So what I'll do is we'll start the main class. We'll do the Mangalacharanam. Whoever has questions can stay back and ask. I'll be here for actually a few minutes to answer the questions. So Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bhyata Nishachara Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Raman Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramascha Dasosmyaham Rame Chittalayastada Bhautame Bhurama Muddhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Nama Varanana Om Nama Iti Om. So, okay. Anybody has any questions? Let's see. No question. No question. Okay. All right. So I guess that's good. There's no question.
Satish, there is one. There is one.
There is one.
Yeah.
Yes. Uchatam, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Venkata.
Venkata, go ahead. Venkata, go ahead. Is he unmuted? I unmuted him, right? He's unmuted? I think
maybe the mic. He's typed it up. Anyway.
What's the question he says?
Is Dhrida Vrataha a Bahuvrihi Samas?
It is, yes. Dhrida Vrataha. I thought I went a little bit fast, I'm sorry. So Dhradaha, Vrataha, Yasya Saha. Because Dhrida means firm or strong. Vrata is vows. Clearly we want the person who has the strong vows. So it is a Bahuvri compound. Dhrida Vrataha. We're not talking about the vow itself, but the person who has them. It is Bahuvri. Could have been a Karmadhara in different context. Only from the context we know it's Bahuvri. Otherwise it could have been Dhrida Vrata, could be just a firm vow. But from this question, clearly it is one who has. So in this instance it is Bahuvri, but it could be a Karmadhara in other context. Yeah. One more question, right? Is the Prasanna.
Namaste, Satish. How about Dharmajna and Kritagna?
Yeah, we did Dharmam Janati Dharma, iti Dharma. It's Upapada Samasa.
Upapada Samasa. Oh, thank you.
Dharma Janati. Dharmam Janati iti Dharmajnaha. Kritam Janati iti Kritajnaha. Actually, that you asked that, I didn't want to go into much in the class, but you can also make this into Shashti Tatpurusha. This is one of those rare cases where you can say Janati iti Jnaha. So the Jnaha does have its own existence on its own. It can have. With a different pratyaya. So you can make it dharmasya nyaha, kritasya nyaha also you could make.
Okay.
It's one of those cases where you can make upapada samasa, you can also make the term nya independently of its own with a different pratyaya to begin with. And then make it into Shashita Purusha. Nowhere off that, nowhere off that. You could do that. I'll quickly give the numbers. Because in the class we limited time, so I didn't want to go through all that detail. But I'll give you the numbers in case you want to look it up. It is the one that I gave you, the Dharmam Janati Dharmajnaha, that one will be 3-2. In the Upapada Samasa section, that one will be 3-2. 3-2-3, okay? That's the one. 3-2-3 you can use for the Upapada Samasa. And if you want to form the Nyaha independently first, Janati iti Nyaha, you have to use this one, 3-1-1-35. Igopadha Nya Pri Kiraha. See, Pani specifically gives the Dhatu Nya in there. This says the Dhatu Nya can take a Pratyaka, and you can have, if anybody is Vivek Chudamani, the word Nya comes there, Ajnaha comes, Nya, Ajnaha. So that also you can do. Then if you do that, you have to make a Shashita Purusha after that.
Okay.
I said samasas are not black and they have different ways of interpreting, and this is one of the ones which can take two routes.
Okay.
Okay. I think one more question. Venkat has a question, right? Venkat have a question? No. Venkata Raju, right? He has a question? No. Okay. Anybody else? We all done? Okay. Oh, no. Yeah, one more question is there. Prasanna has a question. Go ahead.
You answered my question, Satish.
Oh, I already
I
did.
think
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Oh, the
think-
hand is still. I think Nitya.
hand is still there. Yeah. Yeah.
One more. Is there a question, Nitya? Someone?
No, there isn't.
Okay, you're fine. All right, very good. Okay, then in that